Why do men and women perceive the same message differently? In today's society, men and women perceive things pretty differently. Women look more into context of the message, while men usually tend to focus more on the content. The purpose of this paper is to inform people about the various ways men and women process information. In the digital age, we are becoming more distant from one another physically, emotionally, and intimately. Technology is creating new forms of communication, whether it be via text or Snapchat. People aren't physically talking anymore. From this, our biggest threat has become how men and women interpret the same message differently. It's no surprise that men and women perceive the same message differently, especially through modern technology. Discoveries made during the study show the significance of environment, cognitive, and biological differences among the sexes. Men and women can both be nourishing, aggressive, sentimental, and goal-oriented, but while sharing similar characteristics, they think, act, and interpret messages differently. Some studies have indicated that women are more sensitive than men when dealing with interpersonal meetings. Women usually look for body language or, an ulterior motive of content of a message, while men think more what's being said at face value, rather than who's saying it, why they're saying it, their ulterior motives. Will the future of communication through technology lead to a decrease in marriages? The hypothesis for this would be through the increasing reliance of technologically nonverbal communications, people will become less intimate over time. Over a period of time, people will stop communicating physically, which will eventually lead to people finding mates and people getting out of the house and, just things that become intimate, make people intimate. Our study would be based on the relationship of the subject, if they are married or not, if they're divorced. The biggest drawback for this study would be that the participants would have to be willing to undergo the study for the entirety of their life. Creating a sample population will require a search for those who lack adequate social skills. Those searching for those who lack social skills and use technologically nonverbal communication as their primary source of communication would be tough. Therapists would be consulted to ask their clients if they are interested in a program in exchange for free therapy sessions. The participants would also be required to sign a legal document allowing the doctor to disclose any personal information to the study. The study is conducted completely anonymously. The participants' names are never used. They're always given reference numbers or code names, and the monitor of their therapy would be from just the aspect of are they becoming less social, more social? Are they relying more on verbal communication rather than nonverbal technological communications? The survey measures the level of antisocial communications by our subject. These questions are designed to find subjects that will fit our needs as far as antisocial interactions with others. The last question, I think I'm single because of my inability to communicate in real life. I think that question is our biggest one. That's why it's not highlighted. It's to see how they feel towards that really helps us determine if they have a conscious knowledge of if they, if this is a problem, and how they answer that question will basically determine how they perceive this experiment. The limitations for this study would be based on the inability to compare these findings to a controlled group. By using participants that are socially adequate for comparison, we create the norm. This will help test the correlation between the increased use of technology nonverbal communication compared to a participant that has a healthy balance of both types of communication.